Right, Shalom. First and foremost, I like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waharakakwadash. All right, I want to do this video right here dealing with a video I actually had in mind to do a while back, but it's titled "White Des Moines Man Discovers His Great Grandfather Was a Black Olympic Athlete," and we're gonna play this video, and we're gonna grab scriptures, all right, and a couple of scriptures in a parable of the wheat and tares as well. So let's play this video.
Decade of research. A white man from Des Moines found out his great-grandfather was black and actually competed in the Olympic Games in Paris. KCCI's TCO Muzinga tells us how he made this truly incredible discovery.
Everybody knew it. They just didn't talk about it.
It started when Matthew Lundeen was just a kid, cleaning out his great-grandmother's house when she died in 1997.
See, he looks like an Edomite, don't he? Looks like a cracker. Now, he wanted to be accepted by these other Israelite camps out there because of his appearance.
Inside, he found his great-grandfather's accomplishments in the early 1900s. Charles Brookins Jr.
His Olympic jersey, I think I saw, and then there was a room in the basement full of trophies.
Back then, Brookins was praised for his undeniable talent in sport.
This right here is his great-grandfather. Right? This right here is his great-grandfather. He was a mulatto.
Breaking records in Oskaloosa High School. But track and field was his true calling. The University of Iowa lists Brookins as the first Iowa athlete to hold a world record in events like the 40-yard dash in 1922,
so-called mulatto,
220-yard low hurdles in 1923, and 400-meter hurdles in 1924. He was also a member of the Olympic team at the 1924 Paris Games. This is him finishing second in Paris. Lundeen says he was later disqualified. During his fame and success, Lundeen also says Brookins was running from his truth. Ancestry.com and this U.S. Census gave him his first clue.
Basically, it all came down to I was just going through the data that each census gives you, and next to his name and his family's name was the letter B, which I figured out. At first, I thought it was a mistake, but I figured out it meant black. So I checked the other censuses that I could find them reported in. And it either had a B next to their names or it had an M for that outdated racist term mulatto.
Newspaper outlets often called him out, even though he passed as white. And his father, Reverend C.R. Brookins Sr., had an open secret too.
You found out more about your great-great-grandfather.
At the end of the article, there was just a short paragraph that said that he was born a slave before the war, learned how to read and educated himself after the war, and that he was planning on heading back south at some point to serve his people.
That was Reverend Brookins' purpose, being a leader in the black community, especially in Iowa. Lundeen has been investigating where the former slave from a Charlottesville plantation died. So far, he narrowed it down to El Paso, Texas in 1908, the last state to end something he was familiar with, slavery. In Des Moines, TC Muzinga, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
Unbelievable. Lundeen.
You see that? So his great-grandfather looked like a mulatto, but his great-great-grandfather was a dark-skinned man. It doesn't show you the picture here, but we know, we know in the spirit he was a dark-skinned man. And so that's just a few generations. So, man, let's grab the scripture right here. Let's grab 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 7. 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 7. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. So man looks with bodily eyes, with their bodily eyes. If you have two black men standing together, right, or so-called black men, they'll look at them as if they're the same. But no, you can have one that goes back to chocolate covered cracker or Edomite, which I call them chocolate covered crackers, or Edomites, or slave owners, or plantation slave owners, or Edomites, or the red man. Then you can have an actual Israelite, right? And yes, you have full-blooded Israelites. You are who your father is. There's no such thing as 50-50, 20% this, 10% that. That's bullshit. Esau Edom's DNA, Ancestry.com bullshit. DNA shit is bullshit. Right? So the Most High sees on the inward appearance. Now the dude that I played in the video, he looked like a Edomite. Let him walk up to one of these Israelite camps out here, and see how they treat him. Oh, you're an Edomite. With that type of voice. Yeah, that soft-spoken voice. No, he's a descendant of slaves, of Israelite slaves. That's like, what, 3 generations? Damn, around there. So just imagine the fourth generation, 4 generations, 5 generations, 6 generations, 7 generations. So this thing is deeper than just looking at somebody and you're accepted. You got 2 black men, they're accepted. That's how people look at things. Oh, you're light-skinned, you're not part of us. But he's dark-skinned like me, so he's accepted. But that motherfucker could be an Edomite, and the other one could be an Israelite. You see? But that's how the mind of these people work, that social construct that has poisoned America. And who has created social construct and race? Esau Edom, the devil. Come on, man. You can't make this up, man. Let's grab Matthew 13 right quick, and let's jump to down verse 24. This is Yahushua speaking. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. And that enemy is speaking about Esau Edom, when you had the slave owners fucking the Israelite woman down south. Even in the Bahamas or Jamaica and these different places. But it's really talking about here in America, mainly where these slave owners were popping the Israelite dark-skinned black woman. They were popping the black woman here in America. But that seed that slave owner put inside that woman, she conceived the seed of a Edomite. Conceive means to take in sperm. That's what the word conceive means. It means to take in sperm. So she conceived the seed of an Edomite. Not an Israelite, but a slave owner. So that baby will be a chocolate covered cracker. You see? Now just imagine what that chocolate covered cracker would do if he popped a Edomite woman and he was like a mulatto looking or darker, than or popped a dark skin salake, popped a dark skinned Israelite woman, but that baby would still be an Edomite because he came from his Edomite father. You see? And that's the truth. And tares also too. The tares and the wheat, they look alike. When you type in wheat and tares, these things look alike. They all look alike. Right? The wheat and tares look alike. So looks could be very deceiving. You can have somebody that actually don't look like a Israelite no more, but they are Israelites. Somebody that looks like an Israelite, but he's not an Israelite. Matthew chapter 13 and verse 26. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? The field represents the world. From whence, but it mainly happened here in America. From whence then hath it TARES? He said unto them, an enemy have done this. The servant, that enemy is talking about Esau, Edom. The servant said unto him, will thou then that we go and gather them up? Verse 29, but he said, no, nay, lest while he gather up the tares, he root up also the wheat with them. Verse 30, let both grow until the time of the harvest. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, which are the tares represent these Edomites, all right, or these other nations, but mainly these Edomites, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. Let's jump to verse 37. He answered and said unto them, he that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom. The children of the kingdom are Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. But the tares are the children of the wicked one. What? Esau, Edom. Right? The enemy that sowed them is the devil. And this not talking about spiritual demon Satan. It's speaking about physical counterpart of spiritual demon Satan here on earth. And that's the so-called white man. Right? Devil means deceiver, just a serpent-like man. Or a slanderer. And Esau, Edom is a slanderer or an accuser. He spends his life trying to accuse the Negroes of something. The Puerto Ricans of something, the Latinos of something, the Native Americans of something. This is what the devil does, man. The devil ain't no somebody with a pitchfork underground waiting to pull you down when you die. No. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels, right? The harvest is like when, you know, well, it says the end of the world, right? But it's when something is fully ripe, fully ready to be plucked. And you know, fully ready to be plucked or harvested. Excuse me for lost words there. Or harvested. But anyway, the wheat represent the Israelites, and the tares represent the Edomites. So you can't change that. If you're an Edomite, you're an Edomite. It doesn't matter how much you try to manipulate the prophecy, how much you try to manipulate Gene, you're an Edomite. If you're an Israelite, you're an Israelite. Our spirit bears witness that we are Israelites, pursuant to Romans chapter 8 and verse 14 through 16. Chapter 8 verse 14 through 16. Yeah. So the Lord don't look at the outward appearance.
First I thought it was a mistake, but I figured out it meant black. So I checked the other censuses that I could find them reported in, and it either had a B next to their names or it had an M for that outdated racist term mulatto.
Newspaper outlets often called him out, even though he passed as white, and his father, Reverend C.R. Brookins Sr., had an open secret too.
You found out more about your great-great-grandfather.
At the end of the article, there was just a short paragraph that said that he was born a slave before the war, learned how to read and educated himself after the war, and then he was planning on heading back south at some point to serve his people.
That was Reverend Brookins' purpose, being a leader in the black community, especially in Iowa. Lundeen has been investigating where the former slave from a Charlottesville plantation died. So far, he narrowed it down to El Paso, Texas in 1908, the last state to end something he was familiar with, slavery. In Des Moines, T.C. Muzinga, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
Unbelievable. Lundeen was not able to track down a grave site, but he says he hopes to write a book about finding the true identity of great-grandfathers.
True identity is in the Bible, man. That's where you find your true identity. All right, but with that, giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Tawadi Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, for allowing me to do this video. And for all you brothers out there, continue pushing. And double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom.